Welcome, regular session mayor and city council meeting, 6 p.m. Wednesday, February 4th, 2026, City Hall Council Chambers. Call this meeting to order. Would you please rise for the pledge of allegiance?
Yeah. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Call to the public. Mr. Jose Pimienta, please come. Turn on your mic, please.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Council, members of the community. My name is Jose Pimienta. I'm the president of the Nogales Police Officers Association. I represent sergeants and below, and there's a serious topic that I'd like to discuss with everybody that's in here. It's the attrition rate that we've been having at our department. So let's start with the do I get it to work, Mike? Okay, there you go. So the current status of officers that you see patrolling or you see at the schools or our detectives totals up to about 38 officers. So we have two patrol squads, which is Alpha 13, Bravos 12, our detectives, which is 7, and Specialty 6, which totals out to be 13 or 38. I'm not including 2 officers that are in current training and field training right now, and I'm not including 3 that are attending the academy. So we have a total of 13 officers or 38 officers patrolling. Now, if we go back to 2019 to now, we've gone through 72 officers. This includes retirement, resignations, terminations, or they go seek employment at other agencies. So as you can see, we've had 34 officers go to other departments. That's 47% of the department. When it comes to terminations, retirement, resignations, or officers that have passed away, that's 38, that's 53%. So if you add that sum, that's 100% right there. Our department is supposed to be staffed around, let's say about 60. So you could see we've literally gone through a brand new department. So this is something that does cause concern, not only to me as an officer, but it should also bring concern to the public and to the council. When we train people and we hire them, we have to do background checks. We recruit, we send to the academy, we put them through 6-month academy, 3-month field training, and the costs are up to about $133,000 per officer. We've had 17 recruits, get out of the academy. And then we've had 2 recent resignations that made the academy but didn't get off training. If you add that number, 133,000 times 19, that turns out to be $2.5 million that we've walked. The current starting hourly pay for an officer is $22.32 an hour. So we don't do it for the money to be rich. We do it for the community so people can be safe. But there's a big discrepancy when it comes to the hourly rate. So if you look at minimum wage back in 2002, I came to this department in 2003. That is correct. We're making about $30,000, and the discrepancy between minimum wage and officers was $9.29. If we do the survey this year at 2025, the discrepancy now has gone down to $7.17, and minimum wage now has gone up to $15.15 an hour, which means that now it's even actually going to be less. So you're sending people to the academy for 6 months, 3 months of field training to learn how to read the laws, carry a sidearm, and the salary doesn't really reflect it. Like I said, we're not asking to be rich. We're just asking for fair compensation, because 34 people leaving to other agencies hurts this department and it hurts the community really bad.
Mr. Pimienta,
Yes.
you know, this is called to the public.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm just about done, sir.
Last words. Okay.
Okay. So in
Please.
closing, I want to leave the statement to you guys, and I'm going to reach out to individual members and to you, Mr. Mayor, as well, to see if we can find a solution for this, because I'm tired of seeing good officers leave, and that hurts our community. And that's all I have as a presentation for you and the members of the board and the community.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Ms. Jessica Mendez. Please come to the podium, state your name, please.
Blessed afternoon. How's everyone? I'm here to compliment. Usually I stand here and then I complain about certain things. But today I want to thank our city manager for forming the 250 America Committee. It is a blessing to be able to partake in it and also have the community come together and be a part of this, as it is the 250-year anniversary for the United States. Isn't that awesome? It is. So that, and also thank you for having the Nogales being cleaned up, lightened up as well, and for the street where I'm living at, that they're actually going to start paving that. So just thank you, and thank you anybody that partake in this, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Ms. Mary Darling.
Can you all hear me? Oh, sometimes I forget. Just like Jessica, sometimes I'm coming here to complain about something. But tonight I am not. And serendipitously, hearing the presentation that we just had about the local law enforcement, I'm here to talk about that. My name is Mary Darling. I live on Crawford Street, downtown Nogales. And I am a member, as many of you know, of many groups here in this community. And I've lived here for about 3 decades, so I feel like I'm part of the community. I get the vibe and all of that. I recently just picked up dinner because I wasn't anticipating to be here, hence my Post-it notes that I rapidly wrote in the car. But I got to thinking about today. And today at 2 o'clock, there was a protest downtown Nogales at whatever we all want to call the park where the newspaper boy statue is. Sisk Park has also been known as, or the corner of Crawford and Grand. And there was a protest, about 130 people. And yes, about half was split with folks that are in the community or in the county, and about half sure came from Tucson or Pima somewhere, or Sierra Vista, or, fun fact, someone from Tombstone who was celebrating her birthday and decided to come over. And they had signs in their car. It was a super fun event. And I was sitting there thinking about that event. And yes, it was about ICE and about we don't want ICE and no one likes ICE, and the amount of thumbs up and the amount of honks and the amount of positive affirmation of these southbound cars was amazing, including dropping off a flat of water. Say, hey, you all might need water, which was super reassuring for folks. But my point is, we give a heads up to our local professional law enforcement that we are going to have protests, whether they're there or in Tubac or on Mariposa Road or in front of Garrett's. It doesn't matter. We give a heads up for many reasons, including the safety and security of folks that are part of the general public, let alone the folks that are there, let alone for the law enforcement of our community, because we do not want shenanigans. And that's the only word I ever come back to is shenanigans. We do not want that. So I wanted to come tonight, and again, my Post-it notes, I'm sitting in my car with my food getting cold, I might add, to say thank you to the chief and to the team of the Nogales Police Department and to the county sheriff for doing the needful when things happen, whether it's a protest or whether it's anything that happens in this community. How grateful I and we are for professional law enforcement. Words fail. And I think it's part of this Ambos Nogales community. It's both sides. It's all of us together as a community and rebuilding the community. Lastly, I just want to say, and I'm going to out her, but I'm going to thank one of our elected officials, that's Councilwoman Montiel, for supporting the protest today and almost every protest, if not all of them. But again, we live our values, and however we live our values, this is a way to do that. So thank you. Thank you to the chief and to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Calypso Tapia.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Calypso Tapia, resident of Nogales. I moved here about 9 months ago. As you know, I strongly support accountability and believe transparency and preparation must come first. And I just feel as though I refuse to live in a city that sometimes can copy and paste tactics and methodologies of the current federal administration. I have noticed a pattern since moving here that when items are presented for decisions like tonight's forensic audit without prior public rationale, scope, and transparency, and the council will tend to just approve unless it personally affects. When I requested public records to understand this item, I was told nothing exists yet. And I just find that concerning when a decision is possibly going to be made tonight on that. It just reflects a larger habit of asking for approvals with a black box of trust me over due diligence. So I'm just asking for a change of approach for the public's sake. Before decisions are made, whether audits, contracts, or large initiatives, we need a public problem statement, just define scope, cost cap, and funding source. This just informs and ensures informed choices and just makes the public feel more heard. As you know, it's an election year. You're representing us. I just ask that you please shift to a culture of presenting clear, justified plans before decisions. This is our money too, and we deserve thoughtful, transparent governance, just not vague authorizations. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all called to the public. Now we move to presentations. A, Chicano por la Causa, Baffert presentation.
Great. This is the mouse to click. Mayor, Vice Mayor, honorable council members, and city manager, thank you for the opportunity to present this evening. The development that we are proposing is more than a housing project. It is a long-term investment in the senior community and senior residents of the city of Nogales. Many individuals who have spent decades building this community are now living on fixed incomes and facing increasing housing pressures. This project is designed to provide high quality and affordable homes that allow them to stay rooted to the community that they help build. Our team approaches this work not as newcomers, but as long-term stakeholders. And both here in Nogales and Southern Arizona, for decades, we have been present in the region by providing services, building relationships, and investing in communities with the goal of creating lasting impact. That history informs how we design our developments, with a focus on partnership, cultural understanding, and long-term stewardship. Through the Low-Income Housing Tax Credit Program, or LIHTC, we are able to leverage private investment to deliver thoughtfully designed senior community that aligns with the city's priorities while ensuring lasting affordability and responsible management for the years to come. So first, we had to identify the need in Nogales and Santa Cruz County. The need is that there's a growing population, senior population, high percent of cost-burdened seniors, and limited affordable and accessible housing supply. In a 4-mile driving radius, which is what the qualified allocation plan requires, we're able to see where we're able to reach within 4 miles, and also it does cross in over the border as well. And within that 4-mile driving radius, we see that there are 3,396 seniors over the age of 65. And looking at the amenities of what's included in that 4 miles, this also includes over the border as well. And this data is from Esri. We see that there are 24 healthcare facilities, 26 civic engagement and neighborhood hubs, and 65 restaurants. The project that we're proposing is Baffert Senior Apartments, and it will be owned and developed by Chicanos por la Casa. We're a local, Arizona-based in Phoenix, nonprofit organization. The funding mechanism that we're using to finance this project are 9% low-income housing tax credits, or LIHTCs. And we're looking at competing in the 9%, which is a competitive round. We're looking at building 50 units for 62 plus age seniors. And we're looking at an average median income ranging between 40 to 80% average median income, or AMI. It will be a 3-story residential building, and it will comprise of 56 surface level parking. Background of the project, it does sit on a 5.25 acre, and it's adjacent to 2 existing affordable family communities. And across the street, we do have the Challenger School, and also there's the Provisional Community College as well from Santa Cruz Council on Aging, and along with walking trails. The site is currently vacant, and this is what it looks like on the Google Drive. We have since then put up perimeter fencing. And this is an aerial. As you can see to the south, those are the family apartments, affordable housing complexes that we currently have. Across the street, the Challenger School. And as we can see right there, it is on the 5 acres. And on this site, we're actually only going to be utilizing 1 acre of the site. On that acre of the site, we could see over here that we're doing it horseshoe style, which in the future, we're also planning on developing single-family residential homes. So we're not just developing an apartment here or there. We're building an entire community of family affordable housing products, as well as senior affordable and single-family detached homes for ownership. All the units are of one type. They're all 1 bedroom, 600 square feet, and it's on the 3-story building. We're proposing amenities such as fitness center, multi-purpose room, as well as the leasing office will be there, and a community garden. Our development budget is at under $23 million right now. We've already purchased the land. We're looking at hard costs, soft costs, financing. Everything comes out to just under $23 million. How we're going to fill those $23 million to pay for it? Our sources is from the LIHTCs, the low-income housing tax credits. We're bringing in over $19 million in that private investment. We received a $3 million grant from HUD to build this project specifically. And additionally, we'll also be providing over $400,000 in sponsor money. So the timeline of what it looks like, any activity before the April 1 deadline, that's when the LIHTC applications are due for the competitive round. It's pre-development activities, which is why we're also here in those pre-development efforts. April 1, we'll be submitting the 9% LIHTC application to the Arizona Department of Housing. On Monday, June 1, 2026, we hope to hear from them and have the good news of receiving an award and a reservation of the LIHTCs. And then once we receive that, we'll go through the whole equity closing, and then in December, we will begin construction. Construction is expected to last 17 months. That's from December to July of 2028. And once after construction is complete, we enter what's called the compliance or investment period. And during that period, that's when the tax credits go in to pay for everything. We hold on, we continue managing. But the beautiful thing about after 15 years is that our equity partner exits. And in that exit, we're able to refinance or re-syndicate using low-income housing tax credit money as well to really renovate or remodel the community. And so here we are, how the city of Nogales can help and how can we help the city of Nogales. So the 9% LIHTC application process is based off of points. And on this round, the maximum amount of points that a rural or metro award could receive is 185. There are only 3 awards that are designated for the balance of state, meaning for rural communities, meaning that there are 13 communities competing for just 3 awards, and the remainder go to metro, which is Phoenix and Pima. And therefore, we're sitting at 170 points. And in order to best position our project is we need your help of being able to grant us fee waivers in the amount of $50,000. $50,000 is the minimum amount that's needed in order for us to receive 5 additional points. Now, every point is crucial when it comes to the 9% round. And therefore, this would really put us in a better position where we feel confident to be able to submit an application and receive an award for LIHTC. Now, with this being said, I know that there's also a competitor, what I like to call friendly competition, that is also seeking waivers and your approvals to proceed with the 9% LIHTC application. And I call this perfect competition because that's where you'll double your chances to bring a 9% LIHTC award to the city of Nogales in Santa Cruz County. And that's what I call a win-win situation. So to conclude, there's a growing senior population. There's a need for affordable senior housing. The project, we need your support. And this would be the first new construction affordable housing project to be brought to the county of Santa Cruz and the city of Nogales. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Mr. Bonilla.
I remember a few years ago that there was a project in that same piece of land, right? Am I correct?
It is the same exact project. Third time's the charm. We've submitted 2 applications prior, and that is why we're here. We really want to position the project to where we're able to win an award. And in doing so, that's the help that we require.
Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Yes, thank you for the presentation. On these units, you said the 50 units
Yes,
for elderly, for seniors over 62 years old?
correct. 50 units, 62 plus.
And they're like 3 stories high, right?
Yes, so it is a 3-story building.
Okay. So if you one of your funding sources is HUD, you're talking about Arizona State Housing or HUD, Housing Urban Development?
Oh, that's an excellent question. Yes, it is directly through the Housing and Urban Development. It is directly a federal grant that we did receive, congressional grant.
All right. Thanks. Before you do the architectural engineering, do you have to go through HUD and see if they approve the 3-story buildings for seniors?
Yes, so there will be an elevator in place, and also for the ADA units or accessible units, those will all be located on the lower level in case if there's an issue with the elevator where there's an emergency and people need to get down, all ADA units will be down, and everyone else that's mobile in case of an emergency, they will be able to utilize the staircases.
Okay. And you said that the lien will cease in 15 years?
The affordability, the equity partner, which is the syndicator, they buy the tax credits. They're the ones that leave in 15 years because anything over 15 years, they already receive their tax credits because it's paid on an annual basis. So after 15 years, equity partner leaves. It's in their best interest. They always want to leave. And then we'll receive the property back. And that's when we're able to re-syndicate or refinance the project to be able to renovate it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions? On the 50,000 a year support from the city, how would that work? How would, when would it be need to come in place? How does it function?
Yes, so we would require a commitment letter so that way we could submit it with our application, and that would also be the backing and supporting document in order for us to receive those points. And of course, this would all be contingent on us receiving an award. So it's not where we're requesting $50,000, we don't get award, and then we put in a commercial strip there or something. That's not what this would be. It would be strictly contingent on us receiving a 9% LIHTC award.
Okay. Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Just one more question. You said that this is the first low-income housing tax credit program in Nogales?
This will be the first new construction. Bowman Residential and also the other two that we have, they were utilizing, Bowman was 9%, but that's what's considered an acquisition rehabilitation. And the other two, Mountain Point 1 and 2, those were using 4% low-income housing tax.
Yeah, because I think Mariposa Ranch Road is the one by the high school. Those are low-income housing tax credit buildings.
Yes, and those are 4% as well. So this will be the first new construction 9% project.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Commitment letter would be needed by?
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Council, for this. We met a month ago. I wanted you as council, excuse me, to hear about, yeah, we're all drinking and coffee, right? To hear about this because I thought it was important and the investment of 50,000, again, what you stated certainly would be in it just if they get the grant and if they get this approved. We met a month ago. I said, let's bring it in February because that way then you guys can decide on in the March meeting if you will put that on for your approval for this letter. I wanted the discussion. I wanted this presentation, give you some time to think about it. We'll bring it back, or I'll bring it back on March, our agenda for that. And then we'll put that in for the 50,000. If you want to vote on it at that, we will vote on it at that time. So then they'll know and give them time, 3 more weeks to get it in by April. That's the timeline that we had discussed when we met.
But still, the 50,000, interchange of us having to give you the money, will that be, till construction or once approved?
Yes, that would be part of the permitting fees and any additional fees that the city would charge related to the construction of this development.
So it's a credit.
Yes, in a sense.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it'll go for a nice plaque with all the city council members on the front. Is that what it goes for too?
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
We could definitely discuss.
No, thank you for bringing it down. And, Chicanos por Causa is a very good organization, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Gracias. Thank you. Next, item B, America 250. Ms. Montiel, it's all yours.
Presentation is not as nice as his. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and all invited guests out there. Thank you for being here at our meeting. Ready, Miguel? So as you all know, ladies and gentlemen, that this year, America's birthday, 250 years celebrating the stories of our community. And I'm going to give you a brief little presentation because it merits that the community be involved and be informed of this year's America's birthday. Next slide. So many of you out there already know that America will celebrate its 250th celebration. And as you well know, the Declaration of Independence was written in 1776. So the nation is getting ready to celebrate America's birthday. And at the city of Nogales, we've started celebrating already in January. Next screen. So a couple of things about Nogales' community. We're very prideful of Nogales, and a little bit of those of you that don't know that it was incorporated in 1893. It's the county seat of Santa Cruz County. It originated in the 1880s as a border trading post, and it was named for the walnut tree, Nogales, that once grew in this area. Next. And Nogales is definitely a strategic border community. It's shaped by its location on the U.S.-Mexican border, which we're very proud of. Long-standing gateway for trade and tourism and cultural exchange. And it's one of the nation's most critical hubs for fresh produce, right, Mayor? And Nogales is also critical to the supply chain that many sectors rely on, our food, cars exchanging back and forth, electronics, medical, mining, and much, much more. Next. Why Nogales matters to America 250. And this is why it matters, and this is why it was important for us here at the City of Nogales to celebrate America 250. It reflects America's history to trade, demonstrates how border communities strengthen national growth and food security. And I like to say that Nogales feeds America. And isn't that true? We really do. And it's a living example of shared identity across generations. Next. So this all began with the idea that we wanted to celebrate the city. We wanted to make sure that because it is in a place that we're very proud of, Ambos Nogales, I wanted to make sure, along with our stakeholders, that we start planning for the 250th birthday of America. So we involved the community. We created a committee involving stakeholders, which is very important, council members, and we have Hector, Mr. Bojorquez, Vice Mayor Bojorquez on the committee, and we have different city representatives. And I want to mention a few. If they're here right now, I know you're sitting there and you don't like for me to mention your names right in front of everybody. Now you're going to know how we feel when we're sitting on the dais. And so I'd like to introduce to you some of the members that are here. We'll start with Jessica Mendez. If you can all stand up, because it merits that you be recognized, because it's been a lot of work organizing this. Norma Humada Fontes, Mrs. Sandra Corey, and I have a couple of other members that are probably not here right now, but of course I don't want to leave them out. Karina Martinez and Danitza Lopez from the library. They've been wonderful and so helpful. Olivia Ainsa is back there. I saw her. And Dan Diligence. Am I killing his last name? Okay. David Alvarez, who was your assistant. He was very helpful in putting this committee together. And David Calvillo. And did I mention David? Also, your assistant is also in the committee. So I got a good variety of different people. Am I missing somebody? Oh, of course, Miguel Melendez, who doesn't want to get recognized. So it's a good array of different people from the community representing different needs and concerns. We wanted to make sure everybody's voice was heard. And one of the other priorities in the planning principles is focus on the youth and the civic pride. So all of these events that we are planning are all focused around all the residents, the youth, the seniors, and everyone in between. Next. Partnerships and collaboration, which is really important, right? We can't do things alone. So I started out reaching out to the community stakeholders, like I mentioned earlier, to gather ideas and input. And we've had monthly meetings. We meet to discuss what our plans are and how we're going to implement these plans. And there's ongoing collaboration of events with schools. The schools here are very involved. I'll talk a little later about that. Nonprofits, the chamber, the local businesses, and the county superintendent's office, and of course, you, all the residents. Everyone's involved in this collaboration. Next. We utilize what we have existing right now. So we have our wonderful staff here at the City of Nogales. We talked to the city manager and decided that we are going to use every department that exists here at the City of Nogales to make all these events happen and evolve throughout the next few months. We also started with, you've seen the signage out in the city, the flags that you can see on my at the far right here. All the city-owned buildings have these America 250 flags. And we also have the logos that, in fairness, that was created by David Calvillo. He and I and the committee decided that it was just as important to have the American logo 250, the City of Nogales logo, and then also the Arizona logo. And that Arizona logo was created under the Department of Secretary of State, Mr. Adrian Fontes, which happens to be Norma's nephew. She knew I would say that. We're very proud of that. He's a homeboy. Next. And this is the scheduled events. So this is why the committee meets. It meets so that we can decide on what events we will have starting in January and throughout 4th of July. So we kicked it off by having a citywide America 250 flags and banners displayed across all the city-owned buildings. And you'll be seeing those. Today, there were some wonderful banners being displayed across, across the city of Nogales. Public art, we are going to surprise you with a wonderful mural at City Hall at the entrance to your left as you walk in. We have decided to have Tony Plock do a beautiful mural there. We also are going to have a couple mosaics outside of City Hall, and they're all reflecting the 250th birthday of America. It deserves to be recognized. Also, we are very active in social media. We are going to have stickers made. We're going to be sending them all to the local businesses because they're part of the celebration. We, Mr. Bojorquez and I are going to start going to We Love Nogales to talk a little bit about why we're celebrating the 250 years of America. And so we want the public to know that this is important for the city of Nogales. And next one. Just what I did is I just broke it down, Council, so that you can also, you have copies of this so you can fill your calendars later on. I know you have a very busy schedule, but every month what we decided to do is have some ongoing activities that involve the youth also, and the civic, and there's a lot of civic engagement. And if you can see in February, we are going to do a art project with the kids. What does America mean to you? And the superintendent of the schools, the teachers are really committed to making this project happen. We also have another community photography project called Share America Through Your Lenses, where anybody can download any picture of somewhere in Santa Cruz County that reflects what 250 means to them. And these are all free events. And then also today, of course, I will be reading a proclamation soon. We also have this presentation going, and also we are going to, like I said, everybody in between, we're going to reach the senior community here. We're going to have an event called 250 Cupcakes, and we'll be going to all the senior centers soon and talking a little bit about the 250th, because they have stories to tell, and we want to hear those stories. And so we'll be doing a lot of that. And also we're going to, the committee as partner with the chamber, and we're going to start highlighting the small local businesses. And we are also, this is a great idea from one of the members in the committee, we're going to be doing some really neat bumper stickers that say celebrating 250 years of America with this logo sticker in the bottom there. Next. In March, we will have what I think is probably one of the most amazing events. And this is in collaboration with the Secretary of State, Adrian Fontes, and I don't know if you heard, but you'll be hearing it very soon. You see that semi on my far right? It's called America 250 Traveling Museum. And there's going to be a wonderful show of the Liberty Bell replica and lots of other things that are going to be reflecting the history of Arizona and the history of our nation inside that semi. And I will put up right now an invitation that's going out to every resident here in Santa Cruz County. We were chosen one of the few counties in Arizona. You probably are wondering why, right? Well, Adrian is born and raised here in Nogales, and he made sure that we were one of the counties that were chosen. And and that is going to be April 6th out here at the Chea Park from 10 to 6 o'clock. And that is going to be a big, big event, and we're preparing for it as we speak. In April, we are going to have an oak tree. Of course, oak represents America, right? Liberty. And we are going to plant an oak tree out here on April the 24th for Arbor Day. Next. And May and June, we're basically repeating a lot of these events that I've mentioned a few minutes ago. And of course, July is the big celebration that comes with it, and that's the 4th of July celebration with the parade and the fireworks. So that is the schedule of events, and that's what we have been planning when we're meeting on a monthly basis to ensure that all the communities involved in these events that are going to start going on. And I'm really excited. I'm excited. And I want to thank Mr. Kramer, because I know you saw this as a priority. Like Jessica said earlier, that, this is one of the few times, right? Some of us might not make it to 300 years. So we're going to make sure that the city of Nogales starts celebrating the importance of the history of America. So that's just about it. Did I do that fast enough, Mr. Doyle? No. Yes? Hi. Yes. Any questions, council? Mayor?
Just how do we get the word out, Ms. Montiel, especially for that big event on March 6th? What support do you need to get the word out and all the events,
Yeah. So one of the things that the committee has done, and we're also doing through the city's IT department, and also through programs like We Love Nogales that Hector and I will be going on very soon. And that is just getting the word out through these social media channels. And we have collaborated with the superintendents of all the schools in Santa Cruz County. Nobody's excluded. So this event is open to every single citizen, all the schools, all the businesses, and so forth. So what we're doing to try to make sure the message is out is that we have already started with simple things like flyers and collaborating. Mrs. Corey had a meeting today at 11:30 with the superintendent of Santa Cruz County to ensure that all the students are invited to this event. And it's just as simple as informing them, sending out flyers, and so forth. Miguel has done a really great job in the IT department in putting it up in the website and through social media. And so that's probably one of the best ways to ensure that everybody's invited.
Is the Shell Park going to be big enough?
No, the logistics part of it is Mr. Kramer's very good about logistics. And we have been planning this for a whole month because only a few counties were chosen. And so the Mr. Fontes' department has been probably talking to you on a weekly basis about security, for example. I mean, this is a huge event, talking about logistics, talking about where exactly it's going to be parked, how it's going to be scheduled in terms of like you open at 10 and it ends at 6 because only 20 people at a time can go in there inside the big, huge semi to view everything inside. Everything, it's incredible how the State Department has it all organized. What they want from these counties that were chosen is the constant communication between Mr. Fontes' department and the city of Nogales. Patagonia, by the way, was chosen too. It will be in Patagonia too. So the logistics part of it is Parks and Rec, Mr. Kramer, myself, and Mr. Fontes' office is already collaborating and talking about how we're going to work all the logistics. So just so you'll know, the semi will not be inside the park. It will be outside of the park, which is pretty obvious, right? Because of the fact that it's so big. So they've worked that out already. They even had it all mapped out in Google Maps. They're just so organized, it's unbelievable. And partly because probably security.
Okay, thank you.
yeah, that's a good question. The trailer's going to be right on the north side here, but the staging area we'll use back here is the park as well. And it's going to be timed, and not everyone's going to be all at once. So one school or whatever, they're to come in and sequential order, whatever, how we would do it. So it won't be everybody at one time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then they chose over here, that we let them choose. They wanted the north side, we'll be good with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, so what we want is to make this as successful as we possibly can, because we were really lucky to have been chosen. So I want to make sure and work really hard that we impress Mr. Fontes, and it becomes like something that where he's really impressed, because we got it down right.
And I think the judge said that he was also, because he does the free weddings Friday, he's going to tie that into it as well. Correct, Judge?
Going to be a 250 wedding? Sounds good to me.
I heard he was going to dress as Thomas Jefferson.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. And just, like I said, do you want to do the last little, the last one, Miguel, if you could, please? Be so kind, yeah. The next slide. Who's doing it? Oh, Julian, that's okay. He probably, okay, yeah. So I just wanted to end this because, we are excited for all of this, but we're also excited for the next 250 years. And I want to also, before I leave, is thank this committee, because it doesn't seem like a lot of work, but it's so much work in trying to get all these little details and ensuring that everybody, as many people, are involved in participating in a celebration. So thank you, committee out there.
Thank you, and thank all of you that are supporting and helping. It's all great for the city and all great for the community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Parking, I know that it's pretty tight, and I just wanted to maybe make a suggestion if there's any way that we could open up the parking where the bank is for that event.
If I can I answer?
Yes, that's for you, city manager.
Probably not, because that area is restricted right now.
So that's a good question, Mr. Dahl, because the state, when I say state is under Mr. Fontes' department, they already came down to look at where they're going to park this semi. And considering all the logistics, the parking, and they're collaborating. Is that your phone, Mr. Doyle?
Public parking?
Yeah. Yeah, and they're also collaborating with the police department, the fire department, to make sure that we have everything tightened up and everything's ready to go when the semi will be here on obviously on Thursday, the night before the event. So, did I answer your question?
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just, I'm assuming that we'll have a lot of people, and parking gets kind of a little bit hectic.
That's why we got a fine police department to handle that.
Yeah. Thank you, you guys.
Thank you.
For being here. Okay, sure.
Thank you, Ms. Montiel. Now we go to item 5, proclamation. Ms. Montiel.
Of course. Okay.
American 250.
So proclamation is as follows. Whereas the United States of America will commemorate the 250th anniversary of its founding on July 4th, 2026, a historic milestone in our nation's pursuit of liberty, democracy, and self-governance. Whereas known as America 250 provides an opportunity for reflection on the ideas expressed in the Declaration of Independence, including freedom, equality, justice, and civic responsibility. And whereas the City of Nogales recognizes the importance of honoring the diverse histories, cultures, the contributions that have shaped our community and strengthened our nation over the past 250 years, particularly as a border community with deep historical and cultural roots. And whereas America 250 encourages communities across the nation to engage residents of all ages in education, civic, and cultural activities that foster unity, historical understanding, pride in our institutions. And whereas events leading up to July 4th, 2026 will promote community participation, historical awareness, collaboration among residents, schools, nonprofit organizations, and local institutions. And whereas the City of Nogales desires to coordinate local efforts in an inclusive and organized manner to plan, promote, and implement America 250 activities within the community. Now, therefore, it will be proclaimed by the Mayor Maldonado and City Council of the City of Nogales, Arizona, that the period beginning February 2026 through July 4th, 2026 is hereby proclaimed as the America 250 commemoration period in the City of Nogales. Be it further proclaimed that the City of Nogales authorizes the formation of America 250 Committee to serve in that capacity, composed of residents, community leaders, educators, historians, youth, veterans, Mr. Bojorquez is in the committee, and other stakeholders as deemed appropriate. And be further proclaimed that the America 250 Committee shall assist in planning, coordinating, and promoting activities and events that reflect the values, history of the Nogales community. And be it further proclaimed that the city encourages residents, civic organizations, schools, businesses, and community partners to participate in America 250 events and initiatives that honor our past, celebrate our present, and inspire future generations. That's it. I know.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Next, we move to commemorating February 2nd as Mexican American Heritage Day. Commemorating February 2nd as Mexican American Heritage Day, whereas on February 2nd, 1848, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo was signed, marking a pivotal moment in the history of the United States and Mexico, reshaping the cultural and geographic landscapes of America. And whereas while the treaty ceded lands that make up most of today's U.S. Southwest, it also grants U.S. citizenships to Mexican citizens living in the territory, thus created a new ethnic identity, that the Mexican American, and whereas Mexican American comprise the largest indigenous ethnic group in the United States, representing nearly 40 million people, we also acknowledge our historic roots with the people of Mexico, and that we are separated only by an artificial border. And whereas February 2nd, 1848 symbolizes the birth of a new identity for Mexican American and activates among us, projecting ourselves in literature and culture as Mexican Americans. Our literacy lies in our determination to preserve our culture, our language, our tradition, values, and our honor as people who are survived and thrived even in the face of marginalization and discrimination. And whereas this day honors the vital roles Mexican Americans have played in building and strengthening the fabric of this nation, reshaping the U.S. economy and society, creating a new genre of art form, serving in this defense in time of war, and advocating of civil rights and labor reforms. And whereas the day deserves recognition with events and activities that are appropriate to the nature of cultural values we seek and preserve, and to the respect for our city history that we must pass on to our youth and children. Now, therefore, as mayor of the city of Nogales, I proclaim February 2nd henceforth as Mexican American Heritage Day in the city of Nogales, to continue fostering greater understanding and unity in the diverse American, and therefore thereby enhancing recognition in the history and culture that America people hold in common. In witness, we have hereunto set and hand forward cause and to be affixed in great seal in the city of Nogales in Santa Cruz County. Mayor Jorge Maldonado. Thank you. Next, we'll be skipping our financial report because our interim financial director got ill right before the meeting. Anything you got to say, Mr. Kramer?
No, thank you, Mayor. Thank you for bringing that. Yes, if you have any questions, you certainly can email me or stop by, certainly with Sergio. Again, that department is moving in the right directions. They are making some changes, obviously. He's working 2 jobs right now because he's doing the interim and he's trying to fill in his position. So they're all hands on deck, but we are moving forward in the good direction. So any questions on it, certainly you can email me. We are, if you look, you can still see the funds. Obviously, our water account is lower than what we expect. Well, not what we expected, but what we knew. Sewer and refuse are obviously doing as what we expected. So with that said, those are the 3 that I always try to monitor because that's sitting right in here. The other one's departmental. We're trying to stay on task. Obviously, our big expenditures with the water department, repairing. That's constant. Obviously, Parks and Recs, we're expanding upon those 2 departments or that department. So everyone else is, except our attorney's office, is our highest department expenditures, but that's not your fault, but nevertheless. It is. Any other questions you certainly can ask, but again, we're keeping track of, again, what's transpiring over here. We're really staying on top of it. So with that said, thank you, Mayor, for bringing that up. Yes, he would certainly be back. Unfortunately, if something happens again, I will be on task. I will present it myself next month, if need be. Okay?
Thank you. Any questions? Okay. Ms. Montiel, this is report.
Yeah, well, we wanted to, Mayor, if I may?
It's all yours.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we wanted to make sure that we put this on the agenda because you brought up a good question, Mayor, is that how we are going to inform the public of this great opportunity that we have, and especially because Nogales was chosen as one of the few counties in the state. And so I wanted to make sure that you know and the rest of the community know that this will be all over social media. It already is. IT has put it on the city website and also on the Facebook. And if you all can help me too, all of you are active in your social media. I'm not sure Mr. Doyle is, but he'll help me, right, Mr. Doyle?
Of course.
Of course, he's a trooper. So this is an announcement that was put out, Mayor, as referring to your question, that it will host the Road to 250, the Arizona Traveling Museum at the Chia Park. So this has been blasted all over social media so that people can know. And Mr. Kramer is also going to in collaboration with the chamber, we're also going to let the businesses know. We're going to send every business a letter with a sticker that they could use as one of their bumper stickers, where it's going to say, Road to 250, and which I think is going to be something where, I think people are going to be really excited about. So it's just an official notice, and I wanted for it to be on record.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I think, Mr. Kramer, we should have that sticker put on our city vehicles like we've done the other sticker that we did.
Which one?
Well, yeah, in fairness, so we're having these stickers. The committee decided to have these stickers made, Mr. Kramer, where it just basically has the logo that we have. It has the logos, the bottom logo there. Yeah.
Are they coming together as one?
Yeah, one bumper sticker. Yeah.
Very good. Yes, we will do that.
Yeah. The city-owned cars. Yeah.
Right.
Great. Good idea, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. That it?
That's it.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, we move to 8 resolutions. 8, consideration and possible action of resolution number R 2026-01-004, a resolution of the City Council of Nogales, Arizona, a municipal corporation of Arizona, to authorize one or more applications for clean water state revolving fund loans and drinking water state revolving fund loans from the Water Infrastructure Finance Authorities of Arizona, and 2, the city manager to negotiate amendments to existing loans agreements with the Water Infrastructure Finance Authorities of Arizona. Mr. Vasquez?
Yeah, yes, Mr. Vasquez, our fiduciary, is present because I wanted him here because, again, we are embarking upon another good opportunity with this process of asking for $10 million from WIFA, because with that, we have been awarded, Mr. Garcia, myself, met with Francisco Morales Quintero of North American Development Bank, and he stated to us from a few years back, it was presented and proposed for a grant opportunity for the Nogalitos area for $8 million. We were awarded that $8 million grant, but it is a matching grant. So with that said, I did chat with Mr. Vasquez, told him of that opportunity. We had told you guys we didn't really want to do this, but for this opportunity, we can't pass that up. You can't just throw away $8 million for an area that is needed, because some of those pipes, in fact, the pipe that we were working on summer where 4 times it broke, that was a pipe, I make sure I got my dates right, from 1914 or 1912 from the mines of Cananea, and it is lined, it's fine, but it's lined, they're old pipes, lined with asbestos. So we're going to be removing all those pipes in that area probably from Esther, where you live, all the way south to possibly the border, in that, whatever we can do with that money. So with that said, I wanted Michael here just in case you had any questions regarding this, with what we're going to do with WIFA. He will be back next month. Because there's another proposal that we're going to bring back, I believe, correct, Michael? That we will look to also look about renegotiating if the interest rates are coming down. We will look to renegotiate, but we'll also look to maybe get a couple more million to finish out the projects that I presented last fall regarding especially this building, because these air handlers, these units are 35 years old. They're not made anymore. Finding the parts would be very difficult. There are 20% of our buildings need LED lighting, so we'll get out 100% with that. And there are a few other HVAC units throughout the city that we replace, but that's something that we'll bring up. I gave that presentation, if you remember, regarding streetlights and all in that effect. But that's something we'll bring back to you in March. But for this tonight, we're asking you to approve this initiative of the $10 million so we can get that $8 million. I just spoke with Francisco Morales Quintero today. He said, great news, let me know, we can meet. And he said, by the way, he said, let the council know there's other opportunities, because Nogales is a focal point for, I guess, what's the NAD Bank, thank you, I just say it, NAD Bank. I get it with WAFED, I get turned around on those. Nevertheless, he said there's more opportunities for us. And if that's the case, that would be better. I am meeting tomorrow morning with what Mark set up, our lobbyist, or my lobbyist, meeting with one of the governor's council members regarding possibly getting more funding for water and sewer along the border as well. So if we can get this money, we keep getting this money, we're going to get our initiative doing. We started, I believe, this next week, we're starting with the study that we said we were going to do, because Michael did bring that up, that we need to know what we have in our hands. We can't just rely on past data. So we are going to have an engineer study starting from the north all the way south, east, west, the whole city, to know where everything is in this city, from water, sewer, manhole covers, shutoffs, everything to that effect. So we'll have a better idea of what encompasses and what we'll need from 3, 5, 10-year plans, because that's what we're going to need to be looking at. So this is the start. It's certainly important. And a lot of this efforts, what you're doing here, some of you, a couple of you, probably won't be here for a lot of this, but some of you that are obviously going to be here 3-4 years down the road, it's certainly important because it's no more. I think, Michael, you told me we're making up for for what the past to make the future better, and we certainly are doing that because we have to focus on it. But we don't want to keep leveraging our good credit and take out loans, but this time we're going to need it to get that $8 million. Mike, I'll turn it over to you if you have anything to add.
There we go. Good evening, Mayor, council members, staff. Thank you for having me as always. I think Mr. Kramer covered a lot of it, so I'll just open it up for questions.
I think Mr. Kramer brought it up right now. Last time we made the WIFA loans last time around, and we also, I think the same year, did the unfunded liability loans, and we discussed the credit from the city of Nogales. So is this additional loan that we're getting, is that going to affect our credit? Because we said,
Yes, sir. I'm just trying to separate the questions. So these are two separate credits. One is for WIPA, secured by your water and wastewater enterprise system, and then the other one would be your sales tax credit. So two separate credits. Whenever you borrow more, of course, it would affect your credit. Will it impact your credit? Would I expect a negative downgrade? No, I wouldn't. None of this is substantial on your bond obligation side, and I think the biggest portion, potentially, if you were to approve it next month, the majority of the issuance would be for debt service savings as opposed to new money. Does that cover that?
Mr. Doyle?
I just had a question. Since you're working pretty much from Councilwoman Lopez and to replace the old lines, I guess. Back about 8 years or so, there was supposedly the council approved an implementation of putting water valves that would kind of control the flow throughout the city from the different sources of tanks, not only from the one that comes from Santa Cruz River, but that was just to have more water force in case for emergencies or whatever. You could kind of direct a more forceful flow to a certain area in case it was needed. Under just changing these lines and everything, are they going to implement some valves here to control some of that flow so that in case, you can cut off easier the flow for whatever reason?
I'm smiling, Mr. Doyle, because you're right. And that's something that we've discussed, and we definitely are going to do that because we need to know where all of our shutoff valves are. Because in that neighborhood, we did not find one where it was on the map, nor did we find anybody know where it was. So we had to shut it off, which impacted another neighborhood, which we shouldn't have to do. We should be able to localize and fix in that area with the shutoff valves. So that's a very good question because there are areas that we do not have maps for that. That's why we're doing a complete engineering study. So we find out everything, where our shutoff valves are, where all of our lines are, what they're composed of. Our sewer lines, as I stated, where some of those are located in people's backyards. I've said that before and I'll say it out loud. That's what was going on in this city. So we're going to make sure that we remedy it in the fact that we know where everything is and then work from there. Because again, it's going to be a master plan. So that's a very good point because it is important, because why should somebody down the street suffer because we could have had a shutoff valve just for those 10 homes?
That's right. Thank you.
Thank you. And any more questions? So basically, we're going to put this in the agenda for next month to approve.
Well, I think it's an action item for this one.
It's an action.
Yes. It's a resolution. Yes, it is a resolution. The one for next month, Mr. Mayor, will be a different proposition that we'll bring to you.
This is only for WIFA, both a water and wastewater contemplation of an amount of 10 million not to exceed. The likely amount would be 8 million. I asked Mr. Kramer to put in 10 just in case, because if we go over even 1 penny, we have to come back to council and ask for approval. So I asked, he bumped that up just for cushion. Again, this would come back to you for approval before you get finally, funded by WIPA.
I have one more question, Mr. Rusk. So the first WIFA loan that we got, I think we're in year 4 or 5 already on that loan. Am I correct?
Approximately.
So if we sort of refinance or whatever,
We will not refinance that.
we will, if we get this loan, will we go back again and start the 20 years that we have to pay back that loan, or just everything just continues the same?
It's a whole new loan, and so the one that we did approximately 5 years ago stands outstanding, and the city still has to pay. The additional 8 to 10 million would be added on top of that.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Doyle.
Yes, Mayor, knowingly that that bank affects all border communities, I think we should take advantage of this opportunity to get these funds, making sure that we get them while they're there and they don't go somewhere else to another part of Texas, California, or wherever. I think the opportunity is here. We have, it seems like everything's in place to start the project. We just need that funding. And I think this is a good opportunity to take advantage and get those lines replaced and get that work that needs to get done here in the city of Nogales. That's the way I see it, Mayor.
Thank you.
Councilmember Doyle?
Yeah.
If I may respond and just say, all council members. So first of all, WIFA is an excellent program for Arizona municipalities, and their money, the rate at which you borrow is almost impossible to begin with. And then to have that money matched by another 8 million in grant money, so you're getting 50 cents, free on the dollar, right? You don't need an investment banker to tell you that's good money.
Yes. Ms. Montero.
Just a quick comment. Thank you, Mr. Kramer and everyone else that was involved, our legal department, because, we know that the infrastructure is aging, and for years and years and years, we kind of push the can or kick the can, if you will, and it becomes somebody else's problem. But you've taken it upon yourself, and you've been responsible about it, and you faced it, because what we don't want is another year to pass and say, somebody else will take care of it. So thank you for taking this on. It's a big job, and thank you, Michael, for your guidance.
Councilmember Montiel, if I can respond to that as well. One of the things, and maybe I should quit while I'm ahead, but one of the things that I was discussing with Mr. Kramer is, the state of your system. And, when the last time I was in front of you, we were talking about, $30 to $50 million. And I'd said to him, look, I know it's going to cost a lot of money to get an engineer out here to give an assessment of your system, but you saw the faces on your council members, and that's a big decision. And $100,000, and I don't know what the fee is. $100,000 isn't anything compared to $50 million if you have to make that decision. The other thing I said to him is I know it's hard. I see the struggle. I know that you are trying to make the best decision for your constituents. But one of the things that I said to Joel, and I'm from Douglas as well, is at some point you're not just financing your future, you're also financing your past if you wait long enough. I understand that's hard for whatever it's worth. Should have quit while I was ahead.
I'll just say this, that I'm so frugal, that's not 100,000, it's 50,000, because one of those gentlemen is your interim city manager right now. So he's working for us to do this study. Is that correct, Noe? Yes. So it went down from 100 down to probably 50. So he's working for us now as our interim city engineer.
Engineer.
I said manager.
Yes, sir.
It's a Freudian slip, maybe, right? Nevertheless, and I'll just say this: he couldn't make it tonight, and I did tell the mayor that, but he's going to be here next month to be part of these discussions. But he's already saved us a lot of money because we were sitting on an ADEQ penalty if we didn't get it done, and a couple others, and he actually has all the certification for ADEQ. He helped us move in the right direction. That has stopped. I think 2 of them are moving in the right direction, and our third one is moving in that right direction as well. In fact, he was a trainer for ADEQ, so that helps a lot. But the fact is, I'm just bringing that up because, you see, we're already saving $50,000 by bringing that person on staff, just for what it's worth.
With that said, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Mr. Vasquez. Number 9, discussion and action item. Discussion regarding the need, feasibility, and potential next step to developing regulation-sized soccer fields to support local youth, including planning, funding, and regulatory consideration. The city-owned property that may be suitable for this use. Ms. Parada?
Thank you, Mayor. This item is very important to me. It's involving our youth and our community. Scott, where are you? Can you come up to the podium, Scott, in case I need your help? So what I'm proposing is to have more soccer fields in Nogales. Regulation size, we can bring in tournaments. Our kids, there's over 400 kids that participate in the soccer league, and it is important to have. So I'd like to eventually, hopefully looking at a year to 2, the most, to get some of this done. But we're going to have to work, right, Mr. Kramer, on the parcels and see what kind of land we have in Nogales for these fields that would work for us.
We've looked at it. We certainly are trying to figure out where we could get suitable land for this. Right now, the parcels that we have are not really good, suitable parcels. I don't want to foreshadow anything other than what a meeting that we had with Mr. Morgan and his group. There was an initial meeting. They have land along the wash, which is considered floodplain, which I think I stated before that they possibly are looking at, if they work with us, to donating that land back to the city of Nogales. That's a large stretch of land. It certainly, I've been in there, those of you who have been in there, it certainly would be suitable for at least 2 more fields. So again, that's just on the graces of that they work with us in that sense, because that's what they stated. I'm not holding them to accountable because it's just words right now. It's just conversations, but it's certainly things like that we would look to build upon to get more soccer fields for our youth.
And that's, we talked earlier, Mr. Kramer and myself, you look at where the Baffert Ranch is behind the old swap meet now. That's the land that has been potentially in the air of being offered to the city. That's where we were looking at maybe to develop something if it is given to us.
How about a timeline? Would it be maybe?
It depends on where they're ready. They're moving. They met with us already. They've got their team of engineers, architects, and everything to that effect. We're supposed to meet within another month to start with their designs, their plans, and everything to that effect. So they're not just wasting. They want to move ahead. Their goal is to be having their buildings there by the end of this year. That means their office buildings. So after that, their plans, and we have those plans, so it's public record. I mean, they plan to turn the ranch into a B&B, add more casitas, build a pool. They also bought the parcel that runs down Vista del Cielo, so they can connect one of the roads and make a road outlet there. We're still looking at the bridge that had fallen, but we're trying to figure out who actually owns that bridge, because there's no real records of it. We're saying maybe the county, because that's from 1962, but nevertheless, Union Pacific is aware of it. So there's a lot of intricacies regarding that, of at least the roads. But again, they're already planning, they're already moving, they're going to be in that direction. So it's not something that, again, that we're asking. mentioned it, so we hope that it'll work out. If not, we will look for other avenues.
And we had said regulation size soccer fields so we could have tournaments here in Nogales, correct?
I've spoken.
On the bottom. Thank you.
I've spoken. My name's Scott Vandervoort. I've spoken to many of you about this over the years. It's an issue I'm passionate about. The last two soccer fields that the city have built, Hohokam Field and the field behind Challenger School, are not regulation. Regulation would be something like 100 yards, like a football field. And so a field of that size would also serve needs of the local youth American football players, right? 100 yards long. So that would serve another purpose. You know, it's not just the field, it's the conditions, grass that's, you know, developed and maintained, smooth surfaces, lighting, you know, when the sun goes down, because we do have fields, well, practice is over. So lighting can increase the hours that you can put the field to use. So there are many issues, and Council Member Parada, I really appreciate you bringing this and putting this on the agenda. It's something I've been talking to many of you about for many years. So it's a wide range of issues, but ultimately having a full-size field would allow you to bring more competitive soccer and tournaments to the region. After 12 years of age, players go to full-size. So without having that opportunity, they're forced to basically play their games somewhere else.
Mr. Bodea?
Mr. Kramer, I believe I talked to Mr. Vanderbilt also numerous of times. You know, the lighting on that field on top is horrible. I mean, it's no one can practice there or play. You can't. It's just minimal lighting. It's I think we discussed, Mr. Kramer, quite a while ago that we will look into replacing that type of lighting. I know it's not cheap. And I think also the lighting on behind Challenger Field, things didn't go well with the IGA, right, Mr. Kramer? Is that we weren't able to put the lighting in there, or actually I think NUSD said they were going to put the lighting in, and then they decided not to.
Yeah. Yes, Mr. Bonilla, that's their land. So, but with that said, it doesn't mean that we can't. What we have in our hands right now doesn't mean that we can't maintain it better. We can improve upon it. We certainly can look at the lighting. That was kind of the talk of last fall, of improving lighting for our athletic facilities. Certainly the soccer fields are just as much part of it, which they are. So we can certainly, when we look at getting this in March, if we do get this extra funding, I had put that in there for, I know the mayor put down pickleball courts, but we're looking at pickleball courts on a different avenue. But we certainly will get the pickleball courts, but certainly that lighting in that field and any other fields that is dimly lit, we can certainly look at that. Because it's an investment, and I'm sure none of us would say that's not a bad investment to spend. So I'm going to try to earmark that money that we're going to look at the second round of the funding in March to look at our recreational facilities and put money into that, because it is important. Just like every other aspect of activities for these young men and women in this community, it's important. So yes, it's a good question, but we will endeavor upon moving that forward. In fact, I think the pickleball court at Parks and Recs is going to have some lighting. We're trying it out. So we'll see how that solar lighting works.
Yep.
So
with more field opportunities, more fields, or more lit fields, you take the use off of one field, which currently is Turley. Turley is overused for what it has to offer and for what the city's able to do in terms of maintenance. So it gets worn down. It's been closed for, to bring the grass back since mid-October. We're looking at like 100 days of a closed facility. So, I mean, you've got a great resource there, but you take 100 days out of usage right now. You're going to close it again before 4th of July to improve the grass. And then when we get into the monsoon season with the lightning, it really limits our ability to use it as well, because it's not necessarily safe if a lightning storm comes. So it does get overused. Having more fields or more lighting on some of the fields would allow us to spread out the use and hopefully not require 100 days more or less of closure this time of year.
Ms. Parra?
We'll follow up on this, Scott, and we'll get this done. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Para, for bringing it up. B, discussion and possible action authorizing the city manager to procure an independent forensic audit of financial activities within specific city departments, including the identification and evaluation of 3 qualified firms based on experience, cost, and effectiveness, with recommendation presented to the city council for selection. Doyle?
Yes, Mayor, this is an important item. I think it's many years now. Even when I came to the council, I think the previous council was already suggesting that there should be some kind of forensic or deep audit on different departments of the city. And I think we've talked about it long enough, or mentioned it long enough, that I think it's time to start implementing, I guess, the process of selecting a company that'll do a good job. And I want to thank Mr. Kramer for putting here a few companies, and 2 in particular. The first 2 seem, and the second one seems to have even a greater in-depth of forensic, but mostly not necessarily to pass tonight, if the council is not, because I think they might want to study this and kind of make up their mind on so they won't be a forced decision, or but maybe next month bring it back and then take action on it. And right now, I think with the city manager giving us a lot of the information that was asked for, maybe not the prices, but once we select a company or 2, maybe we can get the price on those companies, and as far as how many years back you want to go, and to see how the price is affected, and also making sure that the certain departments, that especially the ones that handle cash, that there's some a deeper process of how they reporting it and accounting for it. What we want is to establish more transparency and accountability in all the departments, but also I'd like to make sure that we look into employees when they purchase equipment and whatnot, that there's an inventory of it, that it's still there. I think they should, that when you make an inventory, you buy a computer, that it should have that serial number, it should be recorded, it should be there. When that department head leaves, you got to make sure that we didn't buy, if we bought another one, that it was replaced, and how they're discarded, and keep a better inventory overall. I think we're looking for this company to give us more guidelines and direction on how to be more accountable. And if there's anything that they find that we need to start implementing another process to make sure that we don't head in a direction where we're losing funding. And so we need that. It's kind of time to be able to bring all the city resources and departments to accountability, and make sure if they're already there on the right track, great. If there needs to be something implemented to improve it, well, then we need to make sure that we're responsible to be able to put that in the right direction. And so that's why we need a good company that'll look at all those crevices and cracks that these other audits that we've had haven't even put a light on. So that's the reason that I put this on the agenda. And again, it's for more like tonight, more like just direction of, and the possible action is to put the direction on our city manager, which he's already given us quite a bit, but at least to give us the time now to look at it, study it, and make up our minds for the next council meeting.
With that said, Mr. Doyle, you're suggesting that we study what we got and table it for the March meeting?
To take action on it.
Mhm. For the March meeting.
Well, I'd like the city manager's recommendation on it. I mean, that's my personal, but he's the one that's going to be overseeing. And is there anything you'd like to say, Mr. Kramer?
Thank you, Mr. Doyle. Yeah, thank you for recognizing that, yes, I tried to provide you with all the information based on what you had requested. So I gave you a lot of homework assignment. I gave you 5 pages, certainly trying to cover every aspect of what you were looking at, I believe. It's certainly important, and we've discussed that, and certainly going to the asset control and warehouse, we're going to have a warehouse, so we are moving in that direction, and that's something we had discussed, and we certainly want to do that. That's going to be very important to start keeping our inventory, and with the program that you guys did approve with Workday, we will have that implemented. So that's a good thing. It's important because it goes back to technology, and you as a council, effective on May 1st, 2025, we approved, which was not even in use, acceptable use policy for our technology. We didn't have an acceptable use policy for our staff that was being followed or implemented. You guys approved that last May. That's being followed. The study that I did was, I had brought in a company that did an executive summary on cybersecurity and government's risk assessment based on the technology. There were areas where there was no trail of who was signing in. It did not register on any transactions. We wouldn't know who actually did that transaction. And then after 2 or 3 days, you wouldn't find it. Exactly. I can get you copies of that. This is public record. I don't mind sharing this. There were certainly the risk findings was misconfiguration of critical security tools, absence of formal incident response program, critically insufficient audit logging. Remember your audits? That's why our audits are so terrible. Well, there it was right here from our cybersecurity people as well. Exactly. See, this wasn't in place. So when you find IT people come in and do your cybersecurity, they're finding what your auditors, and now my auditors, I'm going back 5 years, they weren't mine, but that's what was going on. We didn't have that, so they kept asking for it. You kept getting the same thing over again. That's why the audit this year is going to be the same thing as last year, 5, 6 years back. I think we went 5 years, 6, this will be the 6th. So then and now our IT people have the remediation program, what they need to do, what they need to implement, immediate steps, everything to that effect, enforcing everything into our system. Because again, we had people over there inputting stuff for your water or your sewer. You didn't even know who did it. If there was a change, we didn't know who did it. If there was a transaction done at Public Works, who signed it? I don't know. All that was in the computer systems, and anything else disappeared. So we've tracked down some things and whatever, and I won't get into that because we've discussed that in that room, and I don't want to bring it in. Thank you, Mr. Doyle, for not bringing that up. But certainly it's important that we do what you said. I agree with it. It's a bigger study of what these guys, as our cybersecurity team, came and did, and expanding upon that, and certainly following what is asked upon by this security group that came in and did that study. So with that said, I gave you a lot of areas to be covered, what you want to look at, what we should look at together. I can certainly, but there's 4 good companies. I'm not married, one of them, the other, whatever, is all good. I've heard of Fleischman and Beach because they're in Phoenix and they do other areas. Not saying that they're the best or anything to that effect. However, it is up to you to tell me what directions, what departments, where we want to go, what we're looking at. I kind of know what we're looking at. It was broken, and now we need to fix it.
Mr. Doyle?
Along those lines, Mr. Kramer, I guess, like I said, has there been some kind of paper trail set up already in process for some of the broken down things that you found?
Yes,
Okay,
yes, with, especially in building and what we're doing over there.
okay. Does that include all the facilities? And,
We are now knowing who logs in and who makes changes.
okay. Now, how about in areas where there's a lot of cash transactions? What have you implemented?
Everyone has been told that no more accepting payments. They come to the business office. Every department. Parks and Recs, we're still working on it, and we are going to look, because of the summer programs, and that program, I'll say this, the parents are coming to pay for all that. We are going to set up, much like, again, other places do, getting them a ATM, or not ATM, a system where they can just swipe the card and it'll automatically pay. Because everybody does not like to pay cash anymore. It's usually debit or credit cards, and we're going to try to get that set up for Parks and Recs. Are we going to do that with other departments? We certainly are. And our workday program will allow that trail, so we'll keep it much more cleaner in that effect. It's not so much cash. It certainly was some cash, but there were certainly checks. And I'll just say this. We are looking into something that was a paperwork for one of the meters. We have no trail of where that payment went from 2 years ago.
But all that's changing.
Yes.
Okay. And in finance, has there been any recent implementations? You don't have to give details, but just.
We've tried to move in the direction again of, we know whoever it is, the employee that's inputting the data, the meter read, we know who's putting in the meter read. If for some reason, Mr. Doyle, your water bill was changed, we'll know who did it.
Okay. Well, that's
in the past, we did not know.
Well, that's an improvement, and I think if just to give the council the opportunity to read all the work that you put into it and be a little more informed as far as making a decision next time we meet. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to table this item till the next meeting until we got more information that we looked at, and to make a better decision next time.
Let me just get Mr. Bonilla. He had his hand up.
Yes. Mr. Kramer.
Mr. Vice Mayor, comments.
Thank you, Mayor. The only thing that I see is Mr. Kramer, we are improving on how things are being, or our protocol has changed. So I feel very uncomfortable kind of saying, let's do a forensic audit. We can do an audit, we can call it an audit, but not a forensic, because I don't want to throw shade on our employees. It looks the system was broken, like you said earlier, but it's being fixed. We have some issues in some certain departments, but it doesn't mean that we have to call it a forensic audit, because that would, to me, it implies that there's some type of theft, stealing, and I understand that the way things were done was not the right way, or it wasn't the most efficient way of going about, and processing payments and stuff like that. But I just think that let's do the homework, but let's choose our wording a little bit more careful, because I don't want to cast any doubt over our employees. We have very good employees. So that's all that I don't like the wording with the how this agenda item was worded. I do agree with Mr. Doyle that we do have to look into some of these things but you are looking into them already. So I think we need to fine tune how we word these audits.
I appreciate your I guess I'll say you're supporting the staff, concerned about their well-being, as whether or not they would take offense to something like this. But I'll say this, that everything that we have been doing as far as researching and everything else, everybody's been on board. And those that are still here working hard are on board with all this, because they said before they were never heard, they were never listened to. A lot of things were just like that, pushed to the side without throwing rocks at anyone. I hear you that, yes, I agree, but I think the cat's out of the bag. I don't think the fact that we changed it a different name, the name's already been said. So whatever we changed the name to, everyone was going to say, well, he started forensic, so whatever we want to call it, that's fine. It is what it is, right? It is in looking into a situation that was handed down for years and years and years and years, and we're going to correct it. As I told a few of the council members earlier today, you're sitting on a council right now that, yes, we're taking a lot of flack, or I'm taking flack, so be it. We knew that. Mr. Doyle, you actually asked me, Joel, come in, change this stuff. We're working together to change that. You guys are. You may not see it now, but we're going to see the results 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years down the road, especially like Michael was talking about our water and sewer. This is the same thing. We have to make changes because it was broken. And yes, some people are not happy. Yes, it's changing. It's not the way we always done it, but we're doing it for the right reasons. So those people that are still here, they understand that because they're working here for the right reasons. So I'm Mr. Bonilla, I'm not saying you were not wrong. I'm saying that you're right, but everyone here is on board with it.
No, I understand that, Mr. Kramer. I'm not saying that the feedback from employees that they are on they're on track with everyone and they do like the changes. It's just that I just don't like how it was presented. I think we should.
I got it. I probably should have changed it too, but I just rolled with Mr. Doyle's words. But nevertheless,
I know it's the same thing. Now, like you said, the cat's out of the bag.
Exactly.
Some of the stuff that Mr. Doyle has proposed here, I do agree that we do need to sort of have a deeper dive into some of these things. But I believe, Mr. Doyle, that, and you even recognize it right now, that we are improving on some of these things. Rome wasn't built in one day, and it's going to take not 1 year, probably 2, 3 years to try to straighten out that mesquite branch, and but I do like Mr. Kramer in the direction that we are moving. This stuff should have been done many years ago. So I think we approved that new software. That's a huge right there.
Right. Everything that you guys are supporting. Again, I have big shoulders. I'm fine with it. Again, this staff over here that's left, they understand.
Okay. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. Also, for the record, I just wanted to mention that while forensic audits are often associated with audits conducted for the purpose of ferreting out possible misconduct or fraud, it's not exclusively for those purposes. They're also used to comprehensively review the financial transactions and activities of an organization to identify areas of risk as well, just so the public understands that it's not necessarily inferring that there is misconduct per se, but also to identify those areas of risk, such as how things were done in the past and identifying the areas for improvement.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Rodney. And that was part of my question, so you answered it. So moving forward, if we do hire a forensic auditor, is this going to be the norm now, or are we just doing a one-time forensic audit? Or how about this year's audit? Is this going to be overlapping this year's audit?
It'll be a separate audit per se, because this will be more in depth and they'll look at different avenues. Certainly what you were saying about inventories, they'll look at every aspect of it. Right now, your audits that are going to come back again, it's going to be, again, I'm not hiding anything, it's going to be the same thing. So be prepared for that. But that audit company certainly looks in what's going on in here and then what the directors are doing. This audit that I think you guys are going to bring that Mr. Doyle is proposing is certainly going to look at every avenue as well. And not just what we're looking at as far as money per se, but certainly even our risk processes, what we're changing with HR. I'm sure they're going to sit with HR and Mr. Trevino, and he's certainly implementing with Leo on whether or not when somebody gets in an accident with a city car, no matter which department, there's got to be a process. There wasn't a process. So again, that puts a situation at hand as this company that we hire is going to say, hey, you need to look at it this way. You need to do it differently. You know, I'm open for suggestions to make things work smarter and not harder, right? And I think that's what we're trying to do. So it can be all avenues of what we're doing as far as operations. And certainly any information that we can get for the sewer and water and parks and recs, whatever, it will help us. And I think that I'm open to it because, again, it makes us better and stronger.
Thank you. Mr. Doe?
Well, Mayor, talking about making us look better, and also in defense of that, of hanging something over our employees, I would think if I was in any position of responsibility within the city, as far as not as a councilman, but working and handling monies for the city, I would want tight scrutiny over my department, and especially myself, because that would make me proud to know that I represent the city of Nogales and nobody can question my integrity, because there's a system put in place that makes sure that we all live up to a certain integrity. And it's like our great president, Ronald Reagan once said, trust. But, so what are we doing? We're just making sure that even as an employee, you feel good about yourself, that nobody can question your activities or anything, because there's a system in place, and that protects us all. You know, I'll just be, sometimes I've been at churches that I attended, you know, they count money and they would put me where there would only be one person counting. I said, no, thank you. You bring another person at least, or maybe two preferably, and we all count to make sure there's no mistakes made. Why? Because I know I can be trustworthy, but I don't want anybody to point a finger and saying, well, who verified, right? So don't feel bad. It's trust and verification. That's what it comes to. And it's for our protection. It's for your protection. So that nobody can raise a question against you. And actually, don't feel bad because we're doing that. Feel good about it, that you have people above you that are setting systems in place to protect you, to protect your image, to protect your trust. Because all of you that are very highly you have integrity and you work hard. You know, it's got to be recognized. And the only way it's recognized is to have a system that recognizes that. So don't take it personal at all. On the contrary, I'm doing it to protect you, so nobody can point a finger at you, because that's when you feel bad. When somebody points a finger and you don't have a way of proving yourself otherwise. And this way, you'll be able to say, well, there's the system. What if you feel what went wrong? Go to your either director or supervisor or even the city manager and say, why is there something in question? Like you said, you're putting in place now that you can track down the people that use the system and who used it last, and there's accountability, and that's good. That's what we're doing. We're being transparent and accountable, and that way it takes the heat from everyone. That's that's the reason we're doing this, Mayor. Not to put blame or put somebody in a bad light, but on the contrary, to put them in a good light. I want our employees to feel comfortable that that their effort to be trustworthy and to live up to the integrity that they've taught us to be, that there's a system that assures them that their accountability and their efforts are recognized, and they don't have to worry about anybody pointing falsely at them. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Ms. Montiel?
No, Mr. Kramer, accountability starts with us. So make sure if we move forward with this, that we also are part of the, we'll change the name and we can call it in-depth compliance, right? Lawyer, I looked at chat here. We could call it whatever you want, independent, in-depth, whatever. But that it starts with us too, that we are part of this in-depth compliance, if you want to call it that, or whatever you call it. But it's also our spending too, because we're also given a budget. Thank you.
Well, that's it. Mr. Doyle, you made a motion to post, motion to table.
Just please bring back suggestions to me. I gave you those. Please come and see me, whatever you wanted, so I can compile it, and then I can bring it back to you. Okay? Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Number C, discussion and possible action of in-kind support for April 24, 26 event at Palo Duro Courtyard, Fiesta Carne Asada Boys and Girls Club. We have, we're going to table this also for the March meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes to table. Number 10, liquor license and consideration possible action of liquor license 2026-1, special event liquor license submitted by Jorge Farias Saucedo, Sacred Heart of Jesus of Jesus Roman Catholic Parish for Valentine's Day dance on February 14, 2026. Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. B, consideration possible action of liquor license 2026-2, special events liquor license submitted by Jorge Farias Saucedo, Sacred Heart of Jesus Roman Catholic Parish for Pásame la Cazuela event on February 28, 2026. ¿Qué es eso? ¿Qué es la cazuela? Never heard of this event. Never heard of this event. Huh? Makes me hungry. Do I have a...
They collect
who made the motion? Menendez. Do I have a second? Second, Ms. Montiel. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Pasamos la cazuela. 11, executive session. An executive session pursuant on ARS-38-43103 and 3 for discussion of consultation of legal advice with the city attorney for discussion and consideration regarding the employment, assignment, appointment, promotion, demotion, dismissal, salary, and or employment contract with Robert Gilligan as the city magistrate judge. Make a motion to go into executive session. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to executive session. We reconvene from executive session. Number 12, Mayor's and Council report on current events. Mr. Bonillas. Mr. Doyle.
Well, I just want to comment on the festivities or the event of the Buffalo Soldiers. Growing on a yearly basis. There's more people and it really, it seems like well, this year they researched more the history of it and brought it more to the heart of the community. And so I just want to say that thank you, not only to our community and to our veteran organizations, because we're fortunate enough to be involved with a regiment or a company, base that was here back in the day with the Buffalo Soldier station here in Nogales and Camp Little. So we kind of have an exclusive on that. And I'm glad that the city is supporting it and behind it. And I want to thank everybody that helped support it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Melendez?
I just want to remind you of our senior dance Friday from 11 to 3 at the gym. You're all invited. I don't know if you have
Next Friday.
This Friday.
This Friday?
Yeah.
Es que no voy a estar. Yo ya te había dicho.
We don't qualify.
Maybe you don't qualify.
Maybe next year I'll qualify.
Yeah. Don't forget the date. That's all.
Do we have to bring an ID or can we still?
No exception.
Ms. Montiel? Ms. Parada? Vice Mayor? Okay, Mr. Doyle said, that Buffalo Soldiers event was extremely very well accepted, I think, by the community. I think, even the Hispanic Arizona Chamber was here, and they really enjoyed it because they're involved in the Naco area and all that. So, and I actually saw Miss Donna on Monday, and they had a great event up in Naco on Sunday. So they were, it all translates from the great event that we had. So thank you everybody that went, and thank you everybody that helped, Parks and Rec, and everybody. It was a great event. VFW Anna with the American Legion and everything, Mr. Doyle also. That I think that event is here to stay and to get bigger, because let me tell you, there's a lot of people that recognize. I was at a hotel in Phoenix, and the son of one of the Buffalo Soldiers ladies was the receptionist. And he was talking to a veteran, and I told him, I just heard him say, Buffalo Soldiers. I said, what are you talking about, Buffalo Soldiers? And I told him, hey, that's going to happen this Saturday in Nogales. And yeah, my mom's going to go. And that's how popular this thing is getting. So, let's keep it up, supporting them. As far as events, I think, Ms. Melendez, I will not be here on Friday. I actually will be in Indianapolis with the cold weather, going for a Congress for Little League. I do have some bad news for the city. Basically, our Little League president, Mr. Brooks Bishop, passed away 2 Mondays ago. So, and that's an extra effort that I got to make because he normally goes with me to this Congress. So, I think he was an exceptional person supporting Nogales. For him, Nogales was his home. So, and Lisa, we were yesterday we were talking in the committee of the Little League. we're gonna put the logo of the 250th on all the Little League kids' shirts. So you know, yeah. If you could help me get the logo to me, we just ordered the uniforms this week. Yeah, digital form, so we get it done. So we decided on supporting that through Little League also, you know. And that's all I have. Any future agenda items? No. Just bring back the tables, and then we have 2 tables, and then we have the contract with the magistrate. Okay. I move to adjourn this meeting. All in favor? Meeting adjourned.